Hello, Professor. This is my lab 7 submission, and here I'm trying to run the code. So, my code is in here. I've named it pipe when compiling it, and now I'll just try to run it. So, pipe and the commands that are already given. Sys- oh, sorry. So, here's my output right here. This shows all the necessary processes and what's mentioned in the code. So here's my code. These are all the include statements, the libraries, and what I need are all here. And here I have created a constant name buffer size to check the buffer size of what's inside, what will be entered on the command prompt. It doesn't exceed the size 32, just for that. And here's my main, and the first I am validating if the number of arguments mentioned or given when running the code are correct. So it says two arguments, so I'm just checking that if it's not entering invalid number of arguments, and if so, it's just gonna print an error message and return out of the function, and the execution will stop. So next are the two arrays, args1 and arg2. So these are just the arrays which are going to store the argument which is entered by the user on the command prompt when executing the program. And that's again count one, count two, and these are the temporary buffers for passing. So what we get from the user, we are just passing it into a required format or what's required from here. If something extra or anything is given, we're just going to delete everything. So I have created two temporary buffers here, and we're just copying the original command that is our that is entered the original argument into the two temporary ones over here. So here we are passing both of them one by one, the first command and the second command right here. Then we're setting up a pipe. So pipeline is basically the output of the first function or the first argument will be the input of the second one. So we are creating a pipeline or a tunnel like system to do this, execute what we need to do. This actually decreases the amount of code or the arguments which we write, because we are directly just giving it arguments or the input from the output of the previous one. So here if the connection failed, then pipe creation failed. If the creation failed, sorry, then we are executing the first command right here. So we are using the for command to create child processes, and then we are just checking the argument count and everything and doing what's needed. And if it failed to argue execute the first command, it's just gonna give an error message again, and then we are exiting it if something is wrong. The same thing is done for the second command as well. And the next is just the process cleanup. So we have created pipe, so then we clean up everything which we created so that there are no memory leaks or anything like that in our code. And that's pretty much it. I found this a little easier because the code is actually a bit repeated. So yeah, thank you.